Hi, my name's Dio, and this is the first of a series of videos, hopefully, specifically designed towards making teachers more efficient through the use of AI. In this video, we're going to be looking at the creation of a specific schedule of work. So this could be very useful for new teachers or teachers beginning to teach an additional subject they're unfamiliar with, or even a change of board or exam board, or even an experienced teacher looking to review or redo how they plan and deliver their work. First of all, let's have a look at what we actually mean by a schedule of work. So this is a detailed framework that maps out the sequence, timing and delivery of lessons over a defined period. It provides a clear structure to organise subject content, allocate appropriate time to topics, and ensure that curriculum objectives are systematically addressed. So in this example today, I'm actually going to be looking at a specific section or subtopic from OCR's GCSE Computer Science specification. So that's J277 for those that want to know the details. For this particular example, I'm going to look at using the details from subsection 2.3.1. So defensive design. You can see that on the screen at the moment. As far as large language models go, I'm going to be using AI Studio from Google. So in fact, let's go to the new chat there. You can here use any of the other providers, ChatGPT, any of the large language model providers will do exactly the same job. Now here, within this environment, this is where we're going to define the required prompt to generate the output. And there are lots of different things going on here, but what I'll do is I'll show you the prompt I'm going to use before I actually run it, and then we can see some of the details of that. So if I flip over here, so this is the full prompt I'll be using to generate the output. Now a large part of this is actually fairly generic for me, or certainly for the GCSE Computer Science specification. So let's start from the top. I'm a newly qualified computer science teacher with a computer science degree delivering the OCR GCSE 277 specification. So there I'm directing the large language model and telling it, or giving it a persona, telling it exactly who I want this to be. On the next line, I actually specify the audience, the output I want. So I have a year 10 class of 30 girls aged 14 to 15 at a grammar school with a wide range of abilities. There again, I'll give them some very specific information as to the intended audience. The next line there, for coding-based activities, we use Visual Basic, using the online editor .NET-FIDDLE.NET. So that's very specific for our requirements in regards to, if there are any coding examples, we use Visual Basic. A lot of other schools use Python, certainly at this level. The next part, this is where I start to get very specific in what I'm after. So prior to this, I had a chat with our curriculum lead, and the decision was made that we'd spend 2 1-hour lessons on this particular topic. So I can give that detail within the prompt here. So I need a 2-lesson scheme of work, that's 2 times 1 hour, to cover section 2.3.1, that's defensive design of the OCR specification. And below, I have my bullet points. This is where I specify the exact different sections I'm actually looking for. And again, these can be more or less the same for any other schedules of work I'm looking to generate. So first one there, structure the plan lesson by lesson with clear headings. So objectives, starter, main activities, differentiation, extension, plenary and homework. I'm also being very specific in that to ensure all the specification bullet points for 2.3.1 are explicitly covered. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. So provide engaging and accessible examples suitable for mixed ability learners. So there again, I'm referring back to the audience. Suggest scaffolding for less confident students and extension task for the most able. Once more, I'm pointing out the fact that I have this wide ability of students. The rest of it is good teaching practice. So include reinforcement activities, plenary ideas, and formative assessment methods. The last bit, also recommend freely available resources for classroom use and homework. There are a lot of resources out there. Some I'm fully aware of, others I'm not. And if the large language model, based on its training data, is aware of them, I want that to actually tell me what it is. The last line there, or the penultimate line, I'm actually telling it how I want the output to be structured. And the last bit there is purely because I'm tired of going through my documentation and replacing Z's with S's. So use the correct UK English spelling for all. So let's copy this. So I'll go up to here. Just going to copy that down from there. Copy that. I'm going to go back to my Google AI Studio. I'm going to paste that in there. And then before that, I'm also then going to go back to my specification here. And I'm going to paste this. Even though it's highly likely that's already in the training data, I think it helps still. So once more, let's go back to the specification. These are the required parts as well. It helps direct. Once I'm done that, I can set that off and start processing straight away. As we can see there, it's breaking it down into the different areas I've asked for. So as it's doing now, I'm just going to scroll back up again. So lesson 1, anticipating misuse and input validation. We've got our objectives. So understanding the concept of defensive design and anticipating misuse. We've got our resources. Those, I can change. In fact, most of my work I do via, as well as the PowerPoint, I have a whiteboard, a starter activity. So display a simple program, logic, screen or data entry form, and then ask them to break down, or if you wanted to break this program, how would you try? That's quite a nice question to actually ask students. Then the main activity, input validation, it comes down what scaffolding's available, plenary, exit questions, homework, and research. And then it comes back down, lesson 2, maintainability. So just giving this a quick once over, that looks okay. So most of the activities are there. I now have a fully detailed breakdown of what I need to cover for the next 2 weeks. One of the things I do want to mention here, but I'm not going to be covering this today, is based on this, and we'll be doing a separate video on this. I will be able to produce this PowerPoint, or a PowerPoint like this, and if, as we can see, lesson 1, anticipating misuse, input validation and authentication. Lesson objectives, defensive design is a proactive approach to software development, focusing on crafting code. I like that definition. And again, the layout's pretty good, and these pictures seem fairly good as well. The layout's particularly good. It's nice clean layout, which hopefully my students should be able to work through. But more than that, it's something I can show on the screen, and it's an aid memoir to myself as I'm going through to make sure I cover everything. So that's all I intended to cover in this first edition of AI for Teachers. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to the next one. So thank you very much for watching.